Next, go to stock picks. Ricus Resilient Properties.
Yeah, we were talking about maybe a more benign interest rate environment for South Africa. Obviously, local property will benefit, and if you take a look at global property, that's also, well, it's held up well to start off with, and sectorially, globally and locally, that sector is an uptrend. Resilient, basically because I've got it in my portfolio. The office sector is still not quite firing on all cylinders, but you are sitting with a historic around about 8% div yield. You've probably just on my technical basis, and also just taking a look at price to FFO, probably about a 10% possible capital gain on that. So you're looking at about 15-18% return, which I think is not something to be frowned at in markets as volatile as this. So it's a bit of a safety measure, a bit of annuity income, and a bit of capital gain. I don't think one can ask for a lot more in our current global market.
Yeah, got you on that. Gary, Alphabet, and I just had a look. PE's below 20. I don't know when last I saw that. You will pick today's Alphabet. Results were out last week. I thought they were really excellent, pretty much all round.
Spectacular results. I mean, the stock was up like 5% after hours, and it is absolutely incredible how cheap this business is at the moment. So also, if you look on a forward PE, assuming probably like maybe like a 18-19% earnings growth, you're talking about like 16 and a half 1 year forward PE for Google. This is kind of what we're assuming we buy cars is valued at, and we can have Google for the same price, or at least Alphabet. So yeah, looking at the results, I mean, really spectacular. I mean, one of the things that we were also talking about the Mag 7 stocks earlier is that one of the big growth drivers for them is their cloud business as well, and that is actually supply constrained at the moment. They have more customers than they can currently supply services to. They need to build more data centers at this stage. That is a fantastic problem to have. We're not scratching our heads wondering how they're going to get market share. We know that they will have customers coming. Looking at it, obviously they still significant, probably roughly half their revenue is coming from search advertising, and I think they've been a little bit nervous to cannibalize that by rolling out Gemini and Force.
Yeah.
Obviously the AI app, and they have been losing some ground to OpenAI as people move across and use ChatGPT to answer their questions rather than going and using the old Google search bar. But they have the ability, and I think they need to put that Gemini module front and center already. When you get a search, you kind of Gemini first answers the question, but there's a lot of areas that they need to kind of make that more default app. So I think that is coming. And then of course you've got the moonshots as well, and the moonshots are now being reported on. So you have something like Waymo, which is their self-driving cars. Currently 250,000 rides per week across 4 US cities. This is a silent giant business that is coming, and it is going to change the way that the world moves around. It's going to change mobility. So, and whether it's going to be Waymo or it's going to be Tesla in conjunction with Uber, or how it finally plays out, it's going to be interesting to see. But at this stage, Google has a very, very solid product in Waymo, and I think we're looking forward to that as potentially accelerating growth of the company over time. And if you've got high growth expectations with only call it a like sub 20p at the moment, I think you've got to buy it. You've got to buy it.
And fun fact, I mean, YouTube is bigger than Netflix. Everyone loves Netflix, and there's little YouTube, and people are starting to watch YouTube more and more on TV rather than mobile devices. But that's all for Stockwatch today. Thanks to our guests, Ricus Reeders, PSG Hole-in-One, Ruimsig going with Resilient Properties, Gary Booysen, Rand Swiss going with Alphabet. Up next, the close. Stay watching.